good. So just taking those first couple moments to maybe close the eyes and start to move into the space. Starting to think about your breath as inhales and exhales begin to lengthen. That breath is going to begin to slow and move in and out through just the nose. As you start to move into your mat, move into your space, maybe you set an intention or a dedication for your practice. And in those next couple breaths, we're just going to take the right hand to the left side of the head, gently pull the neck towards the right shoulder, starting to stretch out through that cervical spine. With that next breath, coming to center, and then just switching on over to the other side. So just using the left hand to gently apply some pressure to the right side of the head, just stretching out the neck. And when you're ready, we're coming back towards center. We're taking the left hand to the right knee, the right hand plants behind your back. Inhaling for some length, exhaling to twist over that back shoulder. With that next breath, we're coming to center, and you go all the way over towards the left. So getting that twist on the left. The right hand finds the left knee, left hand can plant behind you for some balance. With that next breath, we're making our way back towards center. You're just going to roll up over the hands, starting to find your tabletop. And once you find that tabletop, starting to move through your cat and your cow. So as you inhale, crown of the head and the tailbone lift. Exhaling, arching up and in. And just moving through that breath. No. Starting to wake up the spine. If there's any additional free-form movement that you need, incorporating it here. No. And with that next breath, we're gonna go ahead and let the left foot kind of pivot out towards the outer edge of your mat. Right leg starts to reach out behind you, starting to engage the core. And once you feel nice and stable here, we're gonna lift that right arm. So you've really gotta keep the core engaged to keep the shoulders and the hips down. And as you exhale, you're gonna start to open, stacking the hips and the shoulders. We're going to do 5 oblique crunches, so bringing that elbow and knee together. Coming long. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And after that 5th one, we're going to find a nice long line, and then just let the right toes come tap right about where behind the left toes, so that you're finding just a small opening through the torso. And then when you're ready, we're just gonna come back towards center, finding our tabletop, shaking any of it out that you might need to. And we're gonna get the other side. So the right leg swivels out just a little bit, so that you can get that left leg up, going ahead and establishing that slightly wider balance. When you're ready, the left arm lifts. And with this first one, we're trying to really engage the core to keep the shoulders and the hips parallel to the mat. Then as you exhale, we're gonna roll open, starting to stack shoulders and hips. And the elbow is gonna come to knees. So 1, coming back out long, 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. Coming out long and then kind of flipping. So letting the left toes, spine somewhere on the ground, kind of in line with the right. And then from here, we're coming right back to center. Feeling free to move through any more of that cat-cow, that free-form movement that you need here. And with that next breath, we're gonna go ahead and tuck the toes and go ahead and take it all the way up into your down dog. Now maybe you pedal the heels out here, just starting to find some length. And in your 5th breath, we're gonna take it up to the hands. So walking, hopping, whatever your mood strikes you right now. Inhaling into your flat back. And then as you exhale, starting to fold. Maybe you find a rag doll, maybe you take a bind. And then as you inhale, arms are coming up overhead. Exhaling, hands are coming into heart center. We're gonna move through 2 sun A's. So as you inhale, arms rise right back up. Exhaling as you fold towards your mat. Inhaling into your flat back. Exhaling as you move through your plank and chaturanga. Maybe you like to add extra push-ups. Maybe you just kind of like to skip your vinyasas. Whatever, again, just kind of whatever mood you're in tonight. If you need to continue pedaling at the heels, feel free to do so. Your 5th breath, you're gonna make your way towards the top of the mat. So once again, just kind of picking what works best for you. Maybe you tiptoe, maybe you walk, maybe you hop. Inhaling into your flat back. Exhaling back down into your full. As you inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come into heart center. We're gonna move through one more traditional A. So arms are gonna rise. Exhaling as you take it towards the mat. Inhaling into your flat back. Exhaling back through your plank and chaturanga. Inhaling into your up dog or cobra. As you exhale, revisiting that down dog. You've got a couple of breaths here. And then that next breath, you're just gonna make your way back towards the top of the mat. Finding your flat back. Exhaling into your full. As you inhale, arms come up overhead. From here, as you exhale, hands are gonna find heart center. The knees start to bend as you move into your chair. Checking in with the toes. The big toes are touching, the heels are slightly splayed apart. And as you exhale, we're gonna take this left elbow to the outside of the right knee. We wanna try to check to make sure the knees are trying to stay in line. The more you push through that bottom elbow, the deeper of a twist you'll start to find. And that next breath, we're coming to center. We're gonna take it across to the other side. So right elbow's finding the left knee. Nice. So from here, we're gonna come back towards center. We're gonna start to pick up that right foot, hovering it for just one breath as we step back into our crescent lunge. Nice, nice control. We're gonna move through 5 speed skaters. So as we inhale, the knee comes up, arms go back. Exhaling to land. Nice, inhaling up. Exhaling to land. 3, 4, and last one, 5. After your 5th one, we're gonna find our crescent and then spin open into your warrior 2. And exhaling, back arm drops, front arm lifts to find your peaceful. From peaceful, we're gonna come back to warrior 2. Take that left arm all the way down to the inside of the left knee. So you've got that deep twist. You might stay here with your triangle arms. If you want to get really deep into the side body, you just pull that arm forward. You find, and next thing you know, you're in your extended side angle. And then from here, we're just gonna let both hands come back towards the mat. That you're gonna go ahead and pivot onto those back toes. We might need to shift the hands, but we're gonna really bear through the hands, plug those right toes in, and see if you can't take the left heel back to your plank without lifting the hips. Nice, nice control. Lowering through your chaturanga into your up dog or cobra. Taking it back to down dog. And we're gonna get our left side. So we're gonna make our way towards the top of the mat. Again, walking, hopping, whatever you like. Finding your flat back. Moving into your fold. As you inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come into heart center. We're gonna find our chair. We might as well twist again for good measure. We'll only hold it for 1 breath this time, so left elbow finds right. Just pressing, finding that nice opening. Back to center. Taking it across. Back to center. And we're gonna hover that left foot. Nice. And then step on back into your crescent warrior. So we're gonna work kind of heavy on the legs for the first half of class. And then when we get into our yin stuff, we'll really stretch it all out. We've got our 5 speed skaters. So as we inhale, starting to come forward. Exhale, stepping back. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And after your 5th one, we open out warrior 2. Then dropping back into your peaceful. And then once again, coming on over, seeing if you can't settle that right hand to the inside of the right leg. The left arm opens. Maybe you stay here, triangle arms. Maybe you reach in front of you and find that extended side angle. And 5th breath, we're gonna find our planks. So planting the hands, plugging the left feet in, trying to engage the core so the right foot can find your plank without the hips really lifting. Nice. Lowering chaturanga. Up dog cobra. Back to down dog. And with that next breath, we're going to take the right leg up. We're going to let it tap the back of the right elbow. We're going to come down to the wrist, make our way back up. We're going to step the foot in between the hands one more time. Back heel pivots in. Coming up and open, finding your warrior two again. From warrior two, we're just going to go ahead and let the hands clasp behind the back. Starting to roll the shoulders open. And we're going to move through 5 flowing humble warriors. So inhaling to find some length. Exhale to fold. Inhaling, lifting once again. Maybe grabbing a little back bend at the top. Folding for 2. Inhaling up 3. 4. And 5. And on that 5th one, when we start to make our way back down, we're going to hold it for 5 breaths. And in our 5th breath, we're going to stay low. We're going to release the hands, letting the left hand come to the mat. Starting to spin onto those back left toes. The right arm comes up as you find a nice low twist. And then from here, we're going to step this front foot back. See if we can't find our side plank. From here, we're going to roll back to plank. Press back up into your down dog. And the left leg takes it up. From here, we're going to take the left leg to the back of the knee, elbow. Wrist, back up. And then stepping in between the hands into your warrior two. And from here, the hands clasp behind the back. Inhaling to find your length. Exhaling to fold into your humble. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling for 2. Inhaling up. 3. 4. And on that 5th one, we're holding our humbles. Next breath, we're going to stay low, letting the right hand come to the mat, starting to spin up onto those back right toes. Left arm lifts into your twist. And then we're going to step on back to our side plank. Coming towards center, moving through your vinyasa of choice here. Taking it back to your down dog. And in that 5th breath, we're making our way back towards the top of our mat. Inhaling into your flat back. Exhaling into your fold. As you inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come into heart center. So from here, we're going to move into a little bit of balance. We're going to sit back down into our chairs for just a quick moment. You're going to take the right leg, figure 4 it over your left. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you throw in a twist and really challenge your balance, taking the right elbow to that right foot. Nice. Fifth breath, we're going to come back towards center. Get just a little bit deeper in the hips before we get to the left side. So you're going to keep bending forward since you guys all had awesome balance. We're going to hook the arms over that leg. The more you sit, the more it feels like a standing variation of pigeon. And then from here, we're going to try to stand all the way back up. You've got your figure four legs, and we're going to finish by taking it into your favorite expression of tree. When you're ready, releasing that leg. Inhaling, arms come up. Exhaling, you're going to find a fold. Pedaling out the heels, maybe finding a deep fold, whatever works for you. Then as you inhale, arms are coming up overhead. Exhale, hands come into heart center. We're going to sit back down in our chair. We're going to take that left leg, trying to figure four it at the right knee. You might stay here, or you might take the left elbow to the left foot. From here, we're going to hook those arms in front of the left shin. Maybe you can sit a little deeper. Inhaling, we're going to try to make our way all the way back up to standing. Nice, nice control. Finding your favorite expression of tree. And whenever you're ready, we're going to release that leg. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, folding. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to start to move through another vinyasa. Chaturanga, up dog cobra. Taking it back to your down dog. We're going to take the right leg up one last time, so one last flow before we hit the ground. Right leg comes to step in between the hands. Back heel drops in as we find our warrior one. Warrior one, we're going to straighten that front knee. Hop the back heel forward just a little bit. Release the arms behind the back. Maybe you grab opposite elbows. Maybe you move into reverse prayer. Our hips should already be pretty squared from warrior one. Inhaling for length. Exhaling to fold into your pyramid. From your pyramid, inhaling up. We're going to start to put a little bend in that front knee as you hop forward. Finding your warrior three with whatever arms you want. You can keep those reverse airplane arms. You can take them forward, you can take them back. And that next breath, we're going to see if we can't step back and land in crescent legs. Nice. From here, we're going to take the hands to the feet. Drop that back knee. Whatever way you feel most balanced in this low lunge, feel free. Some people like toes tucked. Some people like them long. But as you inhale, we're going to come up. And then we'll take the arms back. So you're moving into a slight back bend. You can let that right knee, you can just kind of push your weight into that right knee. Since the left leg is back, it's okay if the knee juts out above the ankle. Then as you exhale, we're going to start to bring the hands back to the mat, tucking the toes to lift that back knee. We're going to take it back to your plank. We're going to hold plank for 5 breaths just to have a little moment of 4. And then maybe you move through another vinyasa. Maybe you move to your down dog. We're going to get that left side. We're going to take the left leg up. We're going to let it step in between the hands to find our warrior one. So that back heel drops in. Arms come up. We're trying to square the hips. In that 5th breath, we're going to straighten the front knee. Let the hands start to come behind the back, grabbing opposite elbows, or moving into reverse prayer. I like to hop my back foot forward just a little bit. I like a slightly narrower pyramid. So if you hopped your back foot forward, just thinking about squaring off those hips again. Inhaling for your release. Exhaling as you fold forward. From here, you're going to inhale, starting to make your way back up. We're going to put that small bend in the front knee, starting to hop up into your warrior 3. Nice. And then seeing if you can't land back in that lunge. Whenever you're ready, the hands are going to come to the mat. Oh yeah, we did hold that crescent for 5 breaths, didn't we? Yeah, we're going to make our way back up. Sorry, ladies. Now we're going to take the hands down to the mat. Let that knee drop. The toes are going to come long. We're going to pull forward through that knee as the arms lift and come back a little farther into a slight back bend. And then from here, we'll let the hands find the mat. We're going to point the left toes towards that top left corner of your mat. Really plant the hands. And you're going to hop that right foot forward so you're right in a nice low malasana. Nice. And just taking a moment to ease into your malasana. Maybe you rock side to side. Maybe you kind of bounce a little bit. If you like a block here, feel free to grab one. We're going to start transitioning into some longer holds here. You might find that as you hold this posture for a little bit longer, you can use the elbows to push the knees farther back. You might find that you start being able to rotate the toes open a little bit more as well. You might choose to rock side to side just a little bit. We've only got a few breaths left here. And so from here, we're gonna let the hands come towards the mat. Plant on the mat. You're just gonna stand up, straightening those knees, inhaling into your flat back, exhaling into a wide leg forward fold. Maybe you take a ragdoll, maybe you wanna bind, maybe you wanna play around with a combination of both. We've got about 10 to 12 breaths here. And so from here, we're just gonna plant the hands on the mat. We're gonna step the left foot back. We're gonna go ahead and drop that knee. Let the toes come long. The right foot might heel toe out just a little bit. We wanna try to get both hands to the inside of the right foot. Kind of try to line up that foot, the right foot and the right hand, so that you're here in an inside dragon. And so you have a bunch of places to stay and play here. We're in some longer holds. So again, you don't have to just stay committed to one. Sometimes it's nice to feel how the body opens. So you might stay on the hands. You might come down to the forearms. Again, with that back leg down, you might choose to pull forward just a little bit through that right knee. But just starting to settle into that opening across the front of the left hip. Nice. And so after you're in every posture for after about 90 seconds, the body kind of lets go of that fight or flight mode. And it allows you to find that slightly deeper release, which is where the yin kind of comes into play, starting to get into those connective tissues. And then as you're ready, we're just gonna lean out of that. Maybe you kick all the way back, grabbing a half split for just a breath or so. We'll plant those hands, take the right leg back. Maybe you grab a couple cat-cows here. And when you're ready, we're just gonna step that left foot forward, getting to the outside of both hands, trying to get the foot and the hand lined up. And then again, just playing around with where you wanna be in your inside dragon. Are you coming down to the forearms today? Are you staying on the hands? Are you thinking about pulling forward a little bit extra through that left knee? Maybe you're noticing that one side feels different than another. It's very normal for the two sides to be not completely balanced. You've only got a few more breaths here. All the animals are confused. I know mine are ready for dinner, but they're just gonna have to wait. And in that next breath, we're going to start to shift back. Maybe you grab that half hanuman for a moment of release. We're going to come back into our tabletops. Just take a second, again, move through some cat-cow. Get ready to go to the right side. And we're going to step that right foot back to the outside of the right hand. The difference of what we're going to do this time, though, is you're just going to kind of inch that right foot forward as far as you can. This is almost like, it's called gecko. It's almost like an intermediary in between a half Hanuman or a splits prep. And you can take this foot as far forward as you can, but it allows you to get just a little bit deeper into that left hip flexor, as well as catch somewhat of a right hamstring stretch as well. And again, as in all these postures, you might find when we spend more than just the 5 breaths here, the body sinks a little more deeply into it. Stop. Good boy. And in those next couple breaths, we're heading back out of our gecko, taking whatever counter pose you need to here. Maybe you pass through a quick half Hanuman. Maybe you make your way through a couple cat cows. And when you're ready, we're going to find that gecko on the left. So the left leg coming to the outside of the left hand. We're going to step it as far in front of that left hand as feels comfortable for you. So where you can kind of keep weight in that left foot. Pull forward through the left knee, grounding in the right. So finding that deep half split or that deep splits prep. Nice. In that next breath, we're taking it back to your tabletop, moving through cat-cow, finding whatever it is that you need here. And when you're ready, we're just going to take it all the way back to a child's pose. Maybe you like knees together, maybe you like wide-legged. Starting first by tenting those fingertips. So you're getting a really nice, long, active stretch through the back. And then as you inhale, the left arm comes up. You're going to thread it underneath the right. If you want to release the tent in your right fingertips, feel free to do so. Try pressing through that right hand to see if you can't get the hips to touch the heels. We're going to come back towards center and get that other side. So the right arm's coming up, threading beneath the left. You're going to press through that left hand to try to keep the left, to try to connect the hips to the heels. And in that fifth breath, we're going to make our way back forward. So coming back into your tabletop. Again, feeling free as always to move through any cat-cow or free-form movement here. And we're going to move into our biggest hip opener now. So you can take this from several different ways. We're going to do a just a pigeon. So if you like that full pigeon, where you line up the right foot with the left wrist and let the knee drop open, reaching out for length behind you, that's always an option. If you don't like coming down on top of the knees and the hips like that, you can always come to the back and figure 4 that right foot at the left knee. If you're near a wall, you can use the wall in relation to your figure 4 by having that right foot pressed against the wall. If you are taking the traditional pigeon, you can find a twist here, just like we did in our threaded needle a second ago. You can thread that left arm beneath you and take the right arm behind you and take your pigeon with a twist and bind variation. You can always move here. You can wave in and out of your pigeon. You can release it. You can go back into it. We're gonna spend about 2.5-ish minutes in your pigeon. So feel free to adjust as you need. Sometimes being in pigeon this long can kind of let the monkey mind get back into effect. That's one of those moments where I like to return my focus to the breath. I'll count the length of my inhales, counting the length of my exhales. And as I focus on matching that length, I notice the little chitter chatter that the pigeons can arise will leave. And we're about halfway through our hold here. And when you're ready, we're going to start to make our way out of that pigeon, allowing yourself any movement, anything you need to release. Maybe you need some leg circles, some hip circles. Maybe you need to lengthen. Maybe you need to hug the feet in, whatever works for you. And we're headed to the left side. So maybe the left knee is lining up with the left wrist. The left foot lines up behind the left hand. The back toes reaching out for some length. Maybe the right foot has grounded and the left foot has figure forward. And knowing that you can always move and play around in here to find your comfy space. In this other side of our pigeon, maybe you take that moment to recall your intention or dedication. Maybe you're still counting breaths. And we've got about 10 breaths left. And so from here, we're going to start to make our way back out of that pigeon. Once again, finding any movement that you need to here to release the hips. And then as you're ready, we'll make our way towards seated with the feet touching each other. You might just, I like in when I'm doing a Baddha Konasana in yin, I prefer to have my legs far out in front of me. You might just fold forward, or you might choose to take a reclined yin and reclined Baddha Konasana and lay back instead. Whichever variation is a nice, better hip opener for you. Maybe you want that fold because you want that moment of frontal compression. Maybe you want to go back so it feels like you're a little bit more deep in your hips. Maybe you again cycle through both of them. You know you've got extended amounts of time here. In those next couple of breaths, we're going to make our way up. We're going to let the knees rotate up. We're going to start to make our way onto the back. And from the back, you're just going to let the legs go straight up, starting to move into some inversion. If you are near a wall or have a wall near you and want to use your wall, please feel free to do so. It's totally not necessary. Legs up is just as effective without one, so it's kind of yogi's choice. Inversions are nice because they get the feet above the heart. In our normal flows and Ashtanga practices, we only spend about 5 to 15 breaths upside down. So in yin, you can start to really get that circulatory benefit by having the legs inverted for a longer amount of time. And with that next breath, you're just let the legs start to drop open, moving into I feel like it was called a dragonfly or a straddle, just a wide-legged. If you're really working on trying to open the inner thighs or trying to get horizontal splits or any of those things, in this posture, you can take the hands to the inner thighs and kind of pull them apart, opening just a little bit more, helping to find a more active lengthening to help you move into those postures or gain more flexibility for them. Maybe you do just want that more restorative and resting one. Holding the legs up like this and in for like about 2 minutes like we're doing is still building strength. So maybe you choose to move into your flexibility more passively. And then from here, we're going to bend those knees, hug the knees into the chest. Take a second to rock side to side, just ironing out any kinks in the low back. We're going to let the feet plant on the mat. Then we're moving into a supine twist. So if you'd like to cross the right leg over the left, feel free to do so. We'll let the arms come out wider into goalpost arms, and then the knees fall over towards the right. Maybe the gaze falls to the left. In that next breath, we're going to take the knees towards center. Exhaling to drop them on over towards the left. If you cross the knees, switching your cross. Maybe the gaze falls over the right shoulder. Then as you inhale, knees are coming up towards center, hugging into your chest, taking a moment to rock side to side. And in those next couple breaths, you're going to start making your way towards your Shavasana. If there's any additional movements that you need to find to round out your practice, feel free to do so. If you are ready to move into that final rest, know that it is there and waiting for you. And as you start to settle into your Shavasana, the breath might return to normal. Maybe you release whatever intention you set out into the world. And with those next couple breaths, we'll start letting the small movements return towards the body, starting in the fingers and toes, moving to wrist and ankles. And whenever you're ready, starting to make your way back to seated. Awesome. And then as you inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come into heart center. Thank you guys so much for sharing your practice today. Y'all's transitions were awesome. There's so much balance in there. I hope you guys have an awesome, I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. Thursday. Namaste.